Alright everyone, you can see the dinosaur up there, but this isn't a dinosaur video. I've almost got all the seam work done on him. We will show that in a separate clip. This is Ma K video. I've been working the seams on this guy, and yeah, I've got out the plastic. The Plastruct and the Evergreen. We're going to explain why in a second. Last video clip, I had worked most of the seams, and I have. I still have to work on this guy's head a little bit. But that's not seam work. That's just coming in here and sanding off the... the flash for where his head goes together. Where the mold went together on his head. I'm at a loss for words right now. It's just been one of those kind of days. But yeah, I got to remove that. You can see what I'm trying to remove. That's what I got to do to his head. Anyhow, let's get to the Plastruct and the strip styrene. Some of you guys have punches which will punch out hex-shaped metal and hex-shaped plastic. But you can go get Plastruct in the hex shape already. Why the hex shape? We got little holes here. I don't like the holes. I'd rather they were bolts. So I'm going to put little bolts there using the small one. The big one will go for the big holes where the cables come through. We'll put plates with holes for cables. On his arm for the laser, I still haven't explained what I'm doing here. We've already got a nice hole, but it never came for the hose for that. We got 2 little nubs here already, and 3 nubs here. I'm going to pull those nubs, scrape them right off. Got plenty of experience of that working on the Millennium Falcon, which is no longer on the stash shelves. It's on the Shelf Queen shelf. I made a shelf for Shelf Queens, so I know what I've started and have not finished. So it's got upgraded. It's no longer buried in a pile of other stuff. So I'm going to remove these nubs. I'm going to replace them with these guys. With the Plastruct hex strips. I got to find my chopper. My chopper's around here somewhere. It will help me chop these off to precisely what I want. Chopper's a wonderful thing. Everyone should have one. I'll show you guys the chopper, but I already made a video review of the chopper. So there's no surprise. Another thing, indispensable are toothpicks. I just use them constantly. They don't scratch the plastic very much. So I use them to get in there and get grooves cleaned up. Whenever I see some stuff in a groove or a panel line, I use this to clean it out with. I actually use it to apply my putty and my filler. I use the toothpick. I dig it out of the cap and smear it on there. That's what I do. I still haven't figured out the dilemma of this yet, and I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure out how to sand it or whatever. Use a chemical wash on it, something to fix it. I'm going to experiment. I've got acetone, I got all sorts of stuff here. Something's going to eat into that. Maybe even just a little bit of heat. Speaking of heat, this is going to get to a separate video in a little while. But I was sent this for a review. So it's a rechargeable soldering iron kit. I'm going to review it in a little bit. And I'm getting up and walking away from the bench because I need to get something that I'm going to build sometime in the next 3 months. Notice I said 3 months. My schedule has been crazy as of late. Bumping cameras and all. A scale model of the 555 timing chip. Ever want to know what's inside a 555 timing chip? I got it right here. Here's a scale model of it. Lots of I'm not thinking very well today. Let's just leave it at that. Words fail me all over the place. Transistors. Lots of transistors. There you go. This is a working 555 timer in large scale. Okay? So this is a reverse of what I normally do. A Tyrannosaurus is not normally that big, much smaller than normal. Well, 555 is much smaller than this will be. So I will build this using the rechargeable soldering iron kit, and you guys will get to see how it works. Okay? I get to see how it works. I have a soldering station I love. It heats up quick. We'll see if the quick charge rechargeable can keep up with it. But that's after the contest. Right now I'm doing this. So, let me get the chopper. Let me remove some of these. I'm going to add some. We got some raised panels here. The laser was sanded already. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure I'm done sanding it. Yeah, I am. Oh, one last thing before I go. I know I'm rambling like mad today. What am I going to use for hose? Because the model kit never came with a hose to go there. It never came with one. It came with some rubber hoses that I don't like for the legs. But nothing for the laser cannon. I mean, these are the rubber hoses for the legs. They're the same material I'm pointing at here. Polycaps, whatever polycaps are made out of. It says AFS there, but I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with the material. Okay. I tried painting it, and the paint's all but come off now. The paint's just not sticking to it. So it's pretty sure the lacquer thinner won't dent this stuff. Now, it could be just because there's a rubbery coating on this to help it release from the mold. I can't say. I'm going to find something that'll smooth it so I can fix this joint here, because this is the only joint that's exposed on the entire kit. This has got to look good. The rest of them, they don't look too bad to begin with. They're buried underneath flaps and all sorts of stuff. Only the arms are exposed, so it's only those four. The legs, yes, they're there, but again, there's armor plate and all sorts of stuff around them. Like this one right here, if I take one of the feet, and pop it in there. There, the foot's in there. You're not really going to see that much. So that's why I'm not too worried about it. You would see it if I put him like that. But when are we going to have him strutting around with his foot in this position? You're not. His foot's going to be like this. So there you go. And I can take my bolts and put an access plate back here or something. My strip styrene. You saw I also had some strip styrene out of different sizes. Half rounds and squares. So I can ad-lib a few details I feel might be missing from this thing in places. But anyhow, what am I using for hoses? I don't want you to see where I bought it. This stuff. It's called snake chain. Okay, yeah, you probably just saw where I bought it. I don't care. You can also see what I paid for it. I bought it on sale. But it is snake chain, and it is basically a metal hose. Let me put it down here and see if I can get the camera to zoom. I have to do a manual zoom with this camera. It won't do with the remote. That's enough of a zoom though. And you can see the snake chain wrapped right across there. It's a good substitute for a hose. It's round, it's braided, it'll look exactly like a hose. It will take paint. And I get a cute little sparkly doggy to boot with ears and a head that bobbles. Let's put him on camera where you can see him too. Let's put him on camera where it'll focus. That's really sparkly. Maybe I ought to set him down next to my Mr. Maquet thing. I don't think so. And it does come in different sizes. I have a secondary chain that I'm going to use for the leg hoses. This one here is much bigger. You can see the two of them side by side right here. I know the camera's focused there. You can see one's much bigger. And here's the original hose side by side, and I don't know what you think. I like the snake chain better. Okay? I like that snake chain much better. It's got much better detail to it. And you can see where I bought it. I know that chain is fairly nationwide. The wife suggested I go there. You find things on clearance. $6, and I got enough chain to do like 7 Mach A kits. And some metal, I don't know what's it. So I'm not too worried about it. I've got my hose replacement. So let me get going. I want to see how cutting this snake chain works. I might have bit off more than I bargained for by buying the snake chain, to be honest with all of you. But it looks like it's the right diameter. I can always enlarge that hole. I have it to me a handy drill and know how to use it. Timing on that was just horrible. But anyhow, yeah, I can put that hose just arching like that, or just put it connecting to the other part of the arm. Here, let's put the other part of the arm on here. Like that. And I can put that hose just coming out of there and going into there. And that would add some detail. Okay, so we got our hose solution done. We're about to start doing riveting. I will be back in a little bit. Let me find the chopper and I'll show you how to use the chopper. Alright, I got my chopper out. This is a chopper from Northwest Shortline. Okay? Now I'm going to make a couple of comments here. One of the things, I own a small business, and I've got some pretty fierce competitions from one of my competitors. He doesn't play fair. I'm not going to name names. Any of my students who found my channel and subscribed, you know who he is. He really doesn't play fair. And I'm going to talk about Northwest Shortline and their competition. There's a company called Micromark. Some of you may have been thinking, oh, that looks like a Micromark thing. Yeah, because Micromark copied the chopper. Micromark has stolen the designs of quite a few tools. Since they're in China, they don't really get caught on that too much. And as far as I know, Northwest Shortline made this first. Micromark copied them second. As far as I know. That's why I don't buy anything from Micromark, period. If they're going to steal other people's stuff, I don't like them. Okay, that was a rant. Anyhow, sorry if you don't like it, but it's the truth. I don't like dealing with people who steal. I've had theft in my life, and I'm not good with it. Anyhow, yeah, let my true colors come out there. Here's the chopper. I use it a lot. I like it. Now, you've got these two plates right here, so you can get angles on anything you want. This right here is set up for pretty short throw. I'm going to take a piece of, well, one of my bolts. Okay, I'm going to open this up. And one thing about this chopper, it takes regular razor blades. You just unscrew it right there and pop a regular, pull the blade out, put a new one in, or just turn the blade over, because they come on two sides. You can buy those razor blades anywhere, or I think it takes a flat edge blade. Sorry, it takes a flat edge blade. But you can buy those anywhere. So once you buy the chopper, you've bought everything. You don't have to buy replacements from someone else. Okay, here's one of my hex-sided pieces. I'm going to see what I got this set for. Probably much larger than I want. Okay? That didn't even cut it. Alright, if it did, I don't know what happened to the cut. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece back on there. No, I'm not. Let me check this real quick. It's not cutting. That blade might be worn out by now. Yeah, I can see it. The blade's finally worn out. I mean, I've used this thing for 2 years without that blade going. But if I were to just put it here, for instance, you can see what it's chopping is a little too big. But the purpose of the chopper remains the same. Duplication. Those two pieces are going to be exactly the same. That's why I like the chopper. Okay? I can set this to cut exact same size every single time. I can also put a piece of styrene right here, clamp it down, so I have an elevated off on there. I'm going to find some strip styrene and do that in a second. And I can adjust this up so I can cut these perfectly. Instead of sitting here with my little knife, holding it with my finger and trying to shave off a piece like that. Okay? I didn't like that piece anyhow. It can go hide. Because you can see I cut a piece off there. It is hex shaped. That actually will probably get used. That's exactly what I wanted. A piece that large. Now, let me put my finger there so I can see it on the screen and do one of these zooms. And we're off camera, but we can fix that in a minute by moving the chopper. All the way over there, huh? And you guys can see, I mean, the thing's tiny, tiny. I might actually just trim it with my fingers, with my knife, because it's working fine that way too. And it's hex shaped like I would like. And that's going to look better than what's on there. That really, truly is. And that's the big hex bolt shaped bolts. Going to look a lot better than what's already on the model. So I've got my game plan. I don't need my chopper. But hey, I'm going to try to set the chopper to slice them that thin though, because it would be easier if I could slice a whole bunch of them that size. I'll be back and let you know if I get it to work.